Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brian Athey, the president of Congressional Capital, and this is Chaz Anderson.
Hey, everyone. Chaz Anderson, Director of Operations here.
And obviously a huge Bengals fan.
Yep. I'm rocking the Bengals gear today. We're playing this Saturday against the Raiders. First time in the playoffs in a couple of years, and hopefully our first playoff win in over 20 years.
I'm rooting for you, man.
Yeah.
The Washington football team is not in it. You guys have a good quarterback, and we have Taylor Heineke, so we're not playing this weekend.
Yeah. It's tough to get into the playoffs with a kind of subpar quarterback, unfortunately, but hopefully we can pull one out for the first time in over 20 years. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Go Bengals. For the weekend, I'm a Bengals fan. But listen, why we're here today is to talk about what every real estate agent should know about hard money lending. And, the reason we wanted to do this was that there's one really common and important misconception about hard money that I get a lot from real estate agents, and I know that Chaz has gotten too, where we get a call that goes down something like this. Hey, Brian, I've got this great deal for you. I've got a client who's, from overseas, who has, good credit and who has good cash, and they're going to buy a house for $2 million and put $1 million down. But because of, they haven't filed tax returns or for some other reason, a conventional lender isn't the right play, perfect hard money deal, you're going to be in great position. And I immediately say, I can't do it. And they say, well, I don't really understand. They're going to put $1 million down and this has got to be better than, the other hard money loans you guys do. And I say, listen, hard money lenders are commercial lenders, right? So we can't do consumer loans. No hard money lender can. So we do loans that are commercial in nature. So think of it, someone's buying, renovating, and selling, or buying, renovating, and refinancing the property. There has to be some commercial purpose to it. So when we have a real estate agent say, my client's going to live in the property, it's an immediate no for us. So if you have that scenario and it doesn't fit with, one of the conventional residential lenders, my advice is to go to a local community bank and see if you can do it that way. Either get a loan because of someone's assets, their credit score, their ability to put a big deposit at a community bank. But the community banks are kind of the route there because they can do loans like what we're suggesting, which is the loan the type that we hear about all the time. But hard money lenders really cannot and should not do consumer loans. And so that's what we steer clear of. So I thought that would be useful for everyone to know. And I think what Chad's going to do today is explain for those interested what exactly is hard money. So when is hard money useful to folks and kind of what the process is. Chaz, what do you think about that?
Yeah, sure. So, there's a couple different reasons to kind of borrow hard money. Like Brian was mentioning, a lot of it is the sort of buy, renovate, rehab, and either sell or refinance. So we see that in a variety of different forms. I think most frequently it's a lot of the fix and flip model.
Yeah.
Where they're taking a single family house, doing some interior work, and then listing it on the market for a, ideally much higher price. Or small rental deals, condo conversions, things of that nature.
Yeah, one of the areas that hard money really thrives is speed. As many of you may know or may not know, we've closed deals in as quickly as 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So if you are a real estate agent who does some investment, as investment clients, know that hard money is a good place for really quick closes, properties that are in really terrible condition, properties where you don't have time to do an appraisal, properties where, your client may not have the best credit or may not have the best cash or can't put down, 20% or 25 or 30% like a bank may require. Those are great situations for hard money, but the key really is, focusing on those clients who can really create value, through the renovation of a property or the building of a property. So, our most successful borrowers tend to be construction professionals who, maybe they worked as a general contractor or they worked on a crew before and they decided, I've been building for other people for so long, but now it's time for me to build for myself. So, they go ahead and borrow from a hard money lender to get their first loan or their second loan or third loan before going the conventional bank route.
Right. And I think adding on to that too, another big reason to actually go the hard money route is just when you're bidding in a very competitive market, A lot of times, these fix and flip deals, a property will be, either listed on the market or just, off market completely, and the seller is just not going to have the, patience to wait for, other more conventional financing.
Right.
They're not going to be able to wait 2-3 months for a closing. They're going to want to close right away. So, if you go the hard money route, you can certainly do that. Not only can we, finance a property quickly, we can also supply a proof of funds letter, which,
That's right.
kind of helps, signify that the buyer actually has someone behind them that's, backing their offer. So that's really helpful. I think.
Yeah, those proof of funds letters are something we routinely do for our borrowers that are, like we're getting emailed at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night
Right.
saying, hey, I've got to get an offer in tonight or got to get one in, in the morning. Can you send me a letter? And we invariably do it. And then the real estate agent on the other side of the deal will often call and, to do a verification and ask us about, our commitment to doing the deal and or our relationship with the borrower. So, those kinds of things obviously can be very helpful. Hard money in general, we're available all the time pretty much. I mean, we, answer phone calls in the evenings and on Saturdays and Sundays, and you might even answer one during the Bengals game if they've got a touchdown or two lead.
Yeah, definitely.
Right,
Definitely,
but if not, that's okay too. It's a speed business. It's a business of flexibility. So if it's an investment or development deal and it doesn't fit in a narrow box, it's not real clean. There's some sort of an issue. We can usually figure out a way to solve the problem. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you have clients who they need some guidance, they haven't done a lot of development, we're the perfect place for that. I mean, we've developed extensively. We've done hundreds of loans on properties developed by others, and unlike a conventional bank, we can give good advice. In Washington D.C., we can talk to them about chimney extensions and heritage trees and the 10-foot rule in RF1 and other nuanced issues that relate to development that typical bankers wouldn't know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I think, building off of that too, a lot of the resources we have just from doing development ourselves is really helpful to a lot of our borrowers. So whether it's a zoning attorney or a recommendation for a general contractor or a realtor or someone else like that, that's really going to help maximize the value of your project in the end. So, we're happy to, utilize those sort of resources for our borrowers and really help them kind of get the most out of their projects.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and people often ask, sort of what type of people actually borrow hard money? Is it people that have terrible credit? Is it, people who couldn't get a loan from any other place? The answer is no. It's all types of people, right? So it's people who are just getting started, who have limited credit. It's people who hate paperwork and they just don't want to go to a conventional bank because they know that they're going to have to fill out personal financial statements and document after document in order to get a loan. It's people who borrow from conventional banks and do hard money. On the hard money side, they want flexibility, they want speed, they want the ability to maybe modify a loan at the end of the deal when they've created a bunch of value and take some cash out. So it's it's a myriad of examples of types of borrowers. So it's not really it's not a one borrower typology. It's many different types of folks, which is great. But where where hard money doesn't work well, again, we don't do consumer loans. We bet on people, right? So it's the most people-centric lending there is. I mean, we're really betting on, will this person do something to create value, So we really want to kind of get to know the person first before we make up our mind. It's not a plug in a widget kind of thing. I've seen hard money lenders try to use algorithmic lending. They have a formula and you enter it in on a website and you decide whether you give a hard money loan to somebody, and that doesn't cut it for me because it's really just about betting on people. Fortunately here at Congressional Capital, we've bet on some great people over the years and had some great success. So if you're trying to grow your business and really trying to work with more investors, certainly reach out to us. I mean, we're glad to do a Zoom, giving more information about hard money to the folks in your office. Glad to meet with some of your clients. Glad to meet with you. So you can certainly reach out to Chaz, at chaz@congressionalcap.com, or reach out to the company at info@congressionalcap.com if you want to talk more about kind of what is hard money and will it work for your clients or for you. We'd be glad to hear it. Chaz, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, one last thing, and if you ever have a client that's interested in filling out our form, it's just real simple. It's on our website. If you just go to the main company webpage, you just click on Apply Now. It'll take you right to that form. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to complete. Should need that pretty much covers everything that we need on our end to actually underwrite the deal. We'll usually move forward with a meeting with the borrower as well as taking a look at the property in person. And then we can usually get pretty close to financing right after that. So it's a very smooth, easy process, and only takes a couple steps to complete.
Yeah, once you give Chaz all the information, as long as we meet with the borrower and have the information, I mean, we usually have an answer in 24 to 48 hours. So really, at that point, the ball's in your court to give us the information we need, and we're typically ready to roll then. So reach out to us if we can, talk to you any more about the process, or if you're interested in doing a deal. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. See ya.